Let's talk right now to Sheikh Ibrahim Mogra. He's an imam from Leicester. He's also a former Assistant General Secretary General, of the Muslim Council of Britain. Thank you so much for joining us. Do you think that what Ilya Anderson had to say was Islamophobic, and do you think that, or racist, or both? Do you think he should apologise?
Good morning, Julia. Yes, I do believe that Lee Anderson's comments were Islamophobic. I think it requires an apology and further action from our Prime Minister. I know he has said that these are unacceptable comments, but the issue is not just about one individual. Evidence suggests that this is deep-rooted within the rank and file of the Conservative Party. And when senior politicians make such comments, it is very worrying, particularly for minority communities, because it emboldens the racists and others who peddle hatred towards minority communities in our country.
We're often told that what MPs say emboldens racism. I don't think racists need to be emboldened, personally. I think they already have those horrible views, and that should be dealt with separately. But you think that, just as we discussed a few years ago, Labour's got an anti-Semitism problem. You think the Tories have got an Islamophobia problem?
Yes, I believe very strongly that that is the case. I think all of our politicians need to be held accountable to very high standards because they have a lot of influence. People listen to what they say. And yes, although racists do not need any further encouragement, what comments such as these does is that it endorses those racist and Islamophobic or anti-Semitic views that they may espouse. So just as we have very strong efforts and commitments to end anti-Semitism in our country, with the resources being channeled to ensure that anti-Semitism is tackled in our country, we need similar efforts made to tackle anti-Muslim hatred.
Okay, but there is do you accept that there is a very big difference, just as there's a very big difference between someone, say, criticising Jewish people as a whole or criticising the actions of the Israeli government? Those are not the same thing. By the way, Jews in Israel and Muslims are very free to criticise that government because it's democratically elected. Very big difference between that and also, equivalent, someone criticising Islamist extremism and someone expressing anti-Muslim sentiment. I would criticise Islamist extremism. I'm pretty sure that everybody should criticise Islamist extremism. I would criticise extremism in any religion, and also anybody who thinks that they can threaten our parliamentarians, threaten a teacher for what he teaches in a school, threatens a cinema for what film they put on, or anything else. It seems to me that we should all be concerned about and want to take action against Islamist extremism. Why, when someone talks about that, is that taken as a criticism of the Muslim community in this country as a whole? I would say this is a minority, too large a minority in this country. However, those aren't the same things. He wasn't criticising Muslims.
Yes, Julia, I would stand with you in the condemnation of Islamist extremists who are preaching hatred or who espouse violence. That is something that all of us abhor and should condemn collectively. So I would stand shoulder to shoulder with you and the rest of our country in condemning such people who are promoting hatred within our society. However, the difference here is we are not talking about preventing people from criticizing the religion of Islam. People are welcome to do that. We're happy to be challenged and have a discussion and a dialogue and try to further better understanding. The point here is that the suggestion that it is Islamists who are controlling London and the mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, has kind of allowed them to run the city is what creates hatred and a dislike for a particular faith community. So when a Muslim does something wrong, clearly they should be condemned for their wrongdoing and the law should take its course. But the issue here is not about race. When we talk of our Jewish community, they are defined as a race, and anti-Jewish hatred is there is protection for Jewish people under the law.
But hold on a minute.
Have that for Muslims.
The argument I think that Lee Anderson was trying to make, and I think in rather poorly chosen language, I don't agree in terms of there being control of either. He also talked about Keir Starmer, London and Sadiq Khan. I don't agree with that. I think that's factually wrong. However, it is the case that Jewish people do feel that they are under attack in our capital city. They do feel threatened by those marches every Saturday by 100,000 plus people, where we are seeing slogans chanted which are blatantly anti-Semitic, chants which are very sympathetic to Hamas, demands being plastered all over in lights on the Houses of Parliament last week, calling for basically the destruction, the annihilation of Israel. That's what From the River to the Sea means. That's what it means. You know that. I know that it's a Hamas, a terrorist group's a chant, for goodness sake. When the police and crime commissioner, which is what Sadiq Khan is for London, and when the police fail to take action on that, and when Keir Starmer, we understand, basically pleaded with, begged, threatened, whatever. There's lots of denials around the Common Speaker to allow the change in the procedure of the House of Commons because MPs feared, we are told, being accused of voting the wrong way and facing threats from Islamist extremists, and no action is taken about that. Does that not tell you that they do have an element of control of our mayor, our city, the Labour leader, of our politics?
So first things first, it is appalling that there is such a huge increase in anti-Semitism in our country. We condemn that and we stand shoulder to shoulder with our Jewish communities against that. It is unacceptable, and the police and the authorities should bring to justice all those who are charged and guilty of either anti-Semitic slogans, even if it is at these protest marches. The evidence shows, on the contrary, that the vast majority of the people are peaceful. There is no hate speech. Yes, there is a difference of interpretation and understanding of the slogan "From the river to the sea." Jewish people feel
and of the call for jihad.
Jewish people. Yeah, and Jewish people should be removed from their land. On the other side, the Palestinians say that's not what we intend. What we mean is Palestinians should be free, including those who live under the occupied territories and within Israel itself.
Well, but no. Palestinians, Muslims who live in Israel are free. 20% of the population is Muslim, and they live very freely.
That's what they're saying, is that they should be given equal rights.
They are.
There is a hierarchy within Israel for Arab Israelis and Jewish Israelis.
One of the most senior judges, the head of the central bank, of Muslim. Really?
Yes, and we have Arab politicians within the Knesset, but that doesn't mean that they enjoy equal rights. We know that there are two systems of law.
Well, let's not. Okay. I'm going to disagree with you on that. But okay, you're saying all the right words, and I'm sure you and I are very much on the same page on all of this. However, everyone's saying there should be action. When there isn't action, when this stuff is playing out week in, week out, and there aren't arrests and there aren't on the same scale, and it's still happening, does that not suggest to you that Islamist extremists, and I'm sorry, why anyone who cares about the children of Gaza is marching alongside people who've been organised by Hamas defies belief, because if you care about the people of Gaza, you don't want anything to do with Hamas. The Hamas are the biggest problem for the people of Gaza. But when no action is taken, doesn't that tell you that actually there is an element of control that these people are able to exercise through fear, through threats, and our politicians are heeding that, and that is giving them control?
To my knowledge, I know that the police have taken action against those who have displayed anti-Semitic signs or have chanted anti-Semitic slogans, and they have been dealt with, and that should be the case. It is very saddening that such individuals tarnish the good image of peaceful people, a large majority of whom are not Muslim people, who simply, on a humanitarian basis, want a ceasefire and want an end to the violence. None
of their placards say get rid of Hamas. It's noticeable for that for me. We're going to have to leave it there, only for lack of time. I hope you'll come on the show again, though. Thank you, Sheikh Ibrahim Mogra. He's an imam from Leicester. He's also a former Secretary General, get it right, of the Muslim Council of Britain.